No, I didn't watch the State of the Union. Yes, I heard little parts of it when I was in the car, and I shut it off. I couldn't stand it. And you know what? The numbers are out. Only 33.3 million Americans watched the State of Confusion speech. That's the lowest since 2000, when Bill Clinton was droning on. And yet there are many more people in this country now. Now, if we assume there's 310 million people in this country of all ages, but just for the sake of basic arithmetic, 33 million out of about 310 million, give or take, that's about 11% of the population watched this speech. 89% of the population did not. Now, it could be that, some are infants or what have you, but that's a fair rounding off number. So about 1 in 10 Americans watched the speech. That's it. So I'm with the 90% who didn't. Thank me. Why punish yourself? Now, I've gone back and I've looked at the transcript of it, and we have a few clips. I doubt I'm going to play any. I might play one because, ladies and gentlemen, this guy gives me a headache. And what is it? I'm going to sit here and debate the minimum wage and all the rest. We've done this already. You know what's funny? We addressed the State of Confusion speech before he even gave it. Inequality, redistribution of wealth, unemployment, his endless capacity to lie, the minimum wage. Why go drone through all that again? What we pride ourselves on here is the leading edge. So tomorrow, the backbenchers can pick up on what we say here. Now, I want to say a couple of things as I looked at the transcript of some of this. Even that was painful. Obama has this arrogant presumption, and it's not just him. It is a mindset throughout our society. But he in particular, that he speaks for the unemployed, that he speaks for the poor, that he speaks for women, that he speaks for the sick, that he speaks for the elderly, that he speaks for your children and grandchildren. Why do we accept this presumption? On what basis? By what claim does he speak for all these people? Because he supports big, abusive, wasteful, bloated, authoritarian government? I understand the Democrats over the last century, the statists and the neo-statists, many Republicans, but the Democrats in particular, have created this maze, this unimaginable maze of departments and agencies and regulations and rules and taxes and programs and user fees and so-called entitlements and all the rest. I understand that. And they defend each and every one, even though they can't list them. They can't list all the programs if you ask them. They can't list all the departments and agencies, all the divisions and units and offices. They can't tell you what's in the Internal Revenue Code. They can't tell you anything that they've created. But they know it's there. It's big, it's abusive, it's a blob. And they'll defend it to the end, even though they don't exactly know what it is. But, folks, it doesn't work. In fact, it's destructive. And we know it doesn't work. Because listen to the contradictions and the idiocy of the people who defend them and promote them in the first place. If they worked, even a little, why do they keep demanding more? More programs, more departments, more taxes, more borrowing and spending. If the New Deal was such a great deal, why do we have to keep passing another New Deal? If the Great Society was such a great society, why do they keep condemning this society? And why do we allow them to take the high ground? Obama doesn't stand for these people. The statists don't stand for these people. They stand on these people. They drain them of their humanity, of their self-worth, and, yes, their resources. We're a great nation. We're sitting here debating a minimum wage. Who the hell debates the minimum wage? First of all, it's none of Obama's business. But besides, that's not the focus of a great nation. Is it? We have to claim the high ground. It is our principles, our values, our belief system, our mindset that is colorblind, that seeks a united America, not a balkanized America, that treats individuals as human beings, not as part of a race or a religion or a gender or people who prefer this sex or that sex. That's the sick mental state of the left, not us. We're the ones who want to defend a stable rule of law. We're the ones who insist that the Constitution be applied and let the chips fall where they may. We're the ones who embrace the Enlightenment. Yes, we're the ones that embrace Western civilization. They're on the dark side. They're on the bleak side. They don't represent the poor. They create poor. They don't represent the sick and the elderly. We're trying to defend them from big government, from bureaucracy, from decisions that may not be in their best interest so they can make their own decisions and their families can make decisions for them. There's nothing humane about a board of 15 people in Washington, D.C. deciding what Medicare patients do or do not get. When will we speak up and take on this federal leviathan, rather than be part of it? Tinker on the edges, timidly, passively. Obama and his ilk, and among his ilk I would include the French Republicans. They're all over the place. They're attacking us, you and me. They seem to think this is the 1920s, where big, centralized, bureaucratic government hasn't been tried. Oh, it's been tried. It's all around us. It's smothering us. This speech, as I went through the transcript, one lie after another, one deceit after another, because that's the way utopian statists have to conduct themselves. What they propose is not only diabolical and miserable, and we know this through human experience, it's impossible. And so they have to lie about what's gone on. They have to lie about what they've done. Their fingerprints are everywhere, but they pretend they're not. And so what do? They create boogeymen. Yes, we're being obstructed, and if Congress won't act, I will. Oh, the insurance company. Oh, the oil company. Oh, the hospitals. Oh, the doctors. Oh, yes, the coal mine companies. They're all out to get us, don't you know? We're being lectured by a man who is unconstitutionally instituting policies that are destroying our society, that are undermining our families, that are killing our livelihoods. These State of the Union addresses, particularly when addressed by a leftist, have nothing to do with the State of the Union. The State of the Union sucks. But it is amazing to me, two things that the left gets away with and they shouldn't, because of the timidity of the opposition. Number one, that somehow they stand for the little guy. They've never stood for the little guy. They stand on the little guy. The only way you stand for the little guy is to stand for all guys and all gals, and to promote a way of life that creates opportunity, motivates people, where people can exercise their free will, where they can become something if they want to become something, whatever that something is, where they can, yes, listen to this, accumulate assets and wealth, and invest it so other people can borrow and use that money. And it goes on and on and on that way. We used to call this capitalism, free market capitalism. That's how poor people become less poor. It doesn't guarantee that rich people will remain rich either. But we can't have a relative handful of governmental thugs telling us who the good guys are and the bad guys are, telling us what industries are good and what industries are bad, unleashing their army of bureaucrats to destroy this, that, or another enterprise. What's that? Well, that's tyranny. How many poor people have been helped by tyranny? How many poor people have been fed by tyranny? How many poor people have been educated by tyranny? They wave around the minimum wage like they're throwing you a crumb. What the Republicans should be proposing is a life of freedom, of self-worth, of free will, of liberty. We want to show you a way to use God's gifts that he gave you at birth. We want to show you a way where you can be self-sufficient and take care of yourself. And you don't have to rely on politicians and bureaucrats for a monthly check or food stamps or whatever. We want to show you a way where you can think for yourself, where you can raise your own family, where you can be proud. That's the American tradition. That's our heritage. Not this big glob of government, this undefinable, ever-increasing, insatiable government that gets in the way of all those things. And rather than attack wealth, we want you to attain wealth. Rather than attack the rich, we want you, if you want to become rich, to become rich. And if none of that matters to you and you want to go off and write poetry under a tree, well, then so be it. As long as you can pay your own bills. It is time, ladies and gentlemen, that we redefine who they are and explain who we are.